79,999 rupees. Yes, that is the price that you have to pay for a flagship smartphone, which is not for everyone, but perfect for someone. Yes, indeed, I am talking about the newly launched Nothing Phone 3. Did you watch the launch event? Well, I would say I think this video will have more information than what they shared at the launch event. Yes, guys, all the leaks that you saw were true. This weird looking smartphone is indeed the Nothing Phone 3. Nothing definitely is a design company and they do have such weird designs, so some people might like it, some people might not like it. Did you like it? Let me know through the comments. But anyway, for the flagship price, what do you get? I know you guys might expect a flagship level Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, but actually this smartphone has the latest Snapdragon 8s Gen 4 chipset. One thing I noticed is Nothing doesn't tell that this is a flagship device, they just say this is Nothing's flagship phone, which means in the entire lineup that Nothing is having, this would be the commander. I mean, how many of you knew this thing that the term flagship actually means in a fleet of ships, there is one ship that goes in front that has the commander that leads the crew. That is called the flagship, and yes, the Phone 3 is Nothing's flagship. But the problem is this Snapdragon 8s Gen 4 chipset is something that we saw on the Poco F7, the iQOO Neo 10, which are all budget mid-range smartphones that are launched under 35,000 rupees. Yes, this does raise some eyebrows, but I think I have a reason for why this has been chosen. But before that, this time they went all with 50 megapixel cameras. The primary camera is 50 megapixel, the 3x telephoto lens is 50 megapixel, the ultra-wide camera is also 50 megapixel, and so does the selfie camera. But the catch is, whichever review video you have seen does not have any of the camera samples, so we only know the camera samples that has been released by Nothing, and that is very few to judge, so we need to wait to get the hands on the device. All the cameras do support 4K 60fps videos, which is great. It's a flagship phone, you want 8K? No, the processor doesn't support 8K. On the back of the phone, you have this red color thing, which is actually a blinking light that blinks during video recordings. But the main highlight is there is no more Glyph lights. They have ditched the Glyph lights and they have brought up a new thing called the Glyph Matrix. So what is the Glyph Matrix? It's basically a pixelated LED display, and they were just playing with it in the launch event. I mean, they were playing spinning the bottle. Say you sit with your friends in a round circle and then you put the phone in the middle, and then the phone has a small display that shows you a bottle that spins. It's not just that, you can play rock, paper, scissors with the phone. Yes, I do that a lot, and a lot of people like to play rock, paper, scissors with the smartphone. Jokes apart, this does really have some useful features, like you can glance at the clock, you can set a timer, you can see if the phone is recording, you have compass, and then they have actually released this API and SDK to other community members, and they have developed few cool features, and even app developers can leverage this display. So basically, it's the perfect Nothing game of putting something attractive, something different from other smartphones, move the eyeballs towards their models. Even there is a small round button. It's not a button but a haptic touch area. If you tap on it, nothing happens. If you give pressure to it, a haptic vibration comes and you can cycle through different things in the Glyph Matrix. The back panel is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass Victus, but the front panel is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 7i. 7i is the basic variant of the Gorilla Glass Victus 2. And you know, Nothing smartphones are basically known to give good displays, and this is not bad either. You have a 6.67-inch 1.5K flexible AMOLED display, which has very thin equal bezels all around the sides, goes up to 4500 nits of peak brightness. It's a 120Hz display, and the device is well built. It's IP68 rated. The smartphone is powered by the Nothing OS 3.5. They hinted that the Nothing OS 4 based on Android 16 is coming, but for now it's Android 15, and the upcoming Android 16 version is going to have few more AI features. This smartphone, I don't know, outside of India, it's launched for 5100 mAh, but in India it's 5500 mAh. And yes, supports 65 watts of fast charging. The CM of smartphones recently came with the charger inside the box, but Nothing's flagship phone hopefully might not come with a charger in the box, but you have a clear case, you have a cable, documents, and SIM tool in that. Smartphone has 15 watts of wireless charging, and you can do reverse wireless charging of up to 7.5 watts. So all this along with 12 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage, you are getting it for the price of 79,999. I'm not sure if there would be bank offers, launch offers, but anyway, it'll come down to I think 70k. And the higher variant, which is 16 GB of RAM and 512 12GB storage is coming for 89,999 rupees. Oh yes, they have the essential space, the essential key, like how you saw on the 3A and 3A Pro, which take the screenshots and saves it in the essential space. It's an AA stuff. But anyways, I have a lot of thoughts on this. See, Nothing is a small brand, it's an ambitious brand. You might know that Flipkart is coming up with a goat sale, and that is powered by Nothing. So as a brand, they desperately want people to start talking about them. If you notice, the entire Twitter, all the news, the headlines were actually speaking about the Nothing phone once it launched. Not because the phone was very good, it's because for the specifications, the phone is actually looking at around 50k or 40k, but it's priced at ridiculous 80k, which raised a lot of eyebrows. People started talking a lot about this smartphone, which not only brilliantly made people talk about Nothing brand suddenly, and also it's a perfect price anchoring strategy. Just think of this, whatever features that you are getting in this smartphone is something that you get in the Nothing Phone 3A and 3A Pro. Technically, if you see, the periscope camera which is there in the Nothing Phone 3 is slightly smaller than what you get on the Nothing Phone 3A Pro. So since the sale is coming and this phone is really overpriced, some people who are die-hard Nothing fans might go end up spending that money to get that smartphone, but others, they're like, a 35k processor and all the features is something that I can get on the Nothing Phone 3A Pro, or even they can give an update, which means I'm not losing much if I get the 3A Pro or the 3A. And yes, the sale is coming, I might get some discounts, so why don't I just buy that? So the ultimate aim, I think, of Carpe is not to sell a lot of units of Nothing Phone 3, but to sell all the other units of Nothing's other smartphones which are under the price points of the newly launched Nothing Phone 3. What do you think about this? Let me know through the comments. Until next time, bye bye.